All right, so this is assembled now, and it's on there and tightened. I still have a lot more to do, but this is gonna be my ops check here. I'm about to go turn the truck on. Ops check's good. All that's holding together. I put a whole bunch of screws in the bottom, more than it would have had from the factory. We're gonna start the truck up, and it's probably gonna run for like 45 minutes at idle before it even gets halfway up to temp, because it is 20-some degrees outside. But then we're gonna see if we have heat. So this worked real good until it didn't work. So the original one that came out of here, this one right here, well, not the original one, but this aftermarket motor I got from the dude with the all the C60s, that works great. It worked a little too good, and it just reamed out this hole. So it's a nice circle now, because it used to have a flat spot on the other side. And I tried to compress, a washer on each side of this, but all that's doing is pulling the shaft into the bearing, and it's not wanting to spin without excessive load on it. That only has one speed. Tried to tie it into the Dodge wiring. I took the wiring off this Dodge heater box, and it plugs straight into the harness here. So most of this is not going to even be needed except for these two things. So that plugs into the motor, the fan motor, and then this does something. I don't even know what all this stuff does, but it goes right in the airflow there. So I don't know if the airflow keeps it cool because it's high current, or it's a temperature sense of some kind. But either way, the motor doesn't work without this being plugged in. So I'm gonna keep that all together. So this plug here has to go through the firewall. And I did have this going through that hole, and then I just had it taped in there, kind of sort of to hold it in place, because obviously that's a square and this is a circle. This is a giant plug. There's plenty more room for stuff to come through it. So what I'm gonna do is, place it somewhere over here. That always did need to get done. So it'll finally get done in this general area. And then I'll run that harness back through to this Dodge fan motor. Last night I put the Dodge heater fan in here. I still got a mess of stuff to clean up here. It worked, and it works with the 4 detents on the Dodge wiring switch stuff. So that was great, but it was not putting out very good, and it turns out that it was turning the wrong direction. So I mean, this system was designed so that way it fits in a Dodge, obviously, but it was turning, this side that we're seeing was turning towards the front of the truck, basically spinning backwards. And also the fan is shaped the wrong direction. It's designed to have an outlet on the other side. I reversed the polarity in the wires. I got real fancy here. And I tried this with just some random wires on the battery first. But yeah, here's a little clip that goes in there. Took this plug apart, swapped the wires so they're backwards. The polarity is the other direction now. So it spins. The fan is still shaped the wrong way, but it puts out significant air. Of course, you can't feel this airflow through the phone, but... So anyway, yeah, it's pretty windy. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the blades are shaped the wrong direction to push air the way that it does, but it does not matter because that definitely moves plenty of air. I'll be happy with it. Take this thing. I'm going to get even fancier here. So this, not sure what this thing is, but this, whatever it is, controls the speed somehow on the, this doesn't work without it. So I'm going to peel back this tape and put this back inside the cab because this is all zip tied together. It was like right, and that went in the air duct on that Dodge wiring, or on the Dodge heater box thing. Stick that in this duct because it gets hot. That little metal element does. And that's, you know, how it was designed to be. So I'm gonna get fancy, stick it in that, and then bolt this in there. Got this project all buttoned up now. I'm about to go test drive it, make sure everything works. So I got that thing hard mounted now. It doesn't move, it's not floppy. I didn't have 8L clamps, so it's just got zip ties with zip ties in between. There is one 8L clamp right there, as you can see. But these are nice and, you know, they're not floppy and gross looking. Everything's nice and tidy. You know, this runs right around the bottom. It's held up with this 8L clamp, goes through this plug thing here that I made. Anyway, yeah, nice and neat, everything in here. Except this, my air conditioning, because we don't have that yet. Anyway, dash is put back together, except for the glove box, I guess. Got my wires tied up the best that I can. There's a lot of them. That thing's painted. And it works. So the only thing that I got to do now is get some 2.5-inch duct to go from this up to, from this air manifold up to the defrost up there. Last night I got all the mechanism for this door put together. Somewhat of bad news. This one here, the sensor in it is bad. I'm going to take it apart and play with it, and hopefully that fixes it. But anyway, this is the one for the rear door. So as of right now, it's not showing door open. And then I'll pop this thing, and you can see. Now, this was going to be the one for the back door, but it's probably just going to have to get replaced right there, unless I can figure out what is messed up inside that thing. Hopefully it's just like a pulled pin that I can push it back into place. Let me take this off right quick before I slam the door and stuff. All right, so we're good. this works now, you know, with all this new mechanism in there. So I had to make this little rod thing that travels down there. Nice. So now it's time to patch up where I screwed up here. Like it never even happened. Finally filled in this hole up here too. So now time for assembly. Here we are. I do have a little bit of a dilemma though. It is all put together. I can't finish putting this together, and here's why. So the factory locks on this door. Everybody knows it's had one of these. They push the handle down, it pushes this rod back, and it locks it. But that's not a function on this because this is how this locks. And then there's another one over here for the outside. But that doesn't matter. We don't have Dodge handles out there. And this side doesn't have, this is for like if you twist a key. The outside one is. But we don't have a key out here. Otherwise, I'd probably just leave this alone. But in order to lock this door, I'm gonna have to make this work, basically. So I got a couple different options here. On the Dodge, there is a rod that goes to the little thing. You know, you pull that up right there. I thought about putting one down here because those door panels have a cam on there. So they got a linkage on one side and then it transfers it 90 degrees. So I could do something like that. Or we get real fancy. Let me see if I can reach this down in here. All right, so you can see what this is, right? All right, the dilemma with that is that wire bundle is way too short to put anywhere that I need it to be in this door. So what I was thinking, also I only have just the passenger side one because the driver's side one, the master one's got the stuff to adjust the mirrors and all 4 windows and the locks, obviously. But I put that in the 4th gen, the actual 4th gen outside because my window buttons were falling out. So it's got a brand new switch in it. So just with this one switch that I got, what I was thinking, I could make this kind of period correct for a 60s vehicle and put the controls right here in the center. I'm thinking this is the best place, somewhere right in this area. That's gonna be a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna have to take this door back off, pull the wiring out of the door, lengthen all the wiring, run it through the dash, and then down there. So I guess that's just what it's gonna have to be. Either that or defer this lock where it just cannot lock and put this door panel back on. All right, it is time to ops check. So we got a new wiring harness here. Let's see. Plug this into this plug here. I don't even know if I got the battery connected. Hold on. And then we'll plug this into our switch. See if the battery's connected. Apparently not. Hold on. All right, I had to skip ahead, so new video. It didn't work at first, but I had to just plug the body control module back in, and that's all it was. So Beautiful. So the driver's side door lock, I'm going to lock out so that way it is permanently disabled. It has a key on the outside. And until I have a key fob for this truck, which I don't have yet, I just got a regular old school key. When I get a key fob, I'll deactivate my lockout and it will open just like a modern truck. But I don't have a key fob yet. I'm ready to get one. Then we'll have remote start too. That'll be pretty cool. So anyway, I think with this switch, I'm going to trim this area off of it because I don't need any of that shit anymore. So power windows would work, but there's no electric motor in there that's hooked up to anything. So I'm sure there's a signal right here. But all right, back to stuffing this wire back in the door then. The other day I had like a random idea with this thing and I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could incorporate some kind of bumper valance on this. You know, like the new trucks have. Like all the new trucks, they got a bumper that's got plastic on the front. So I took the cowl from the black truck and I just clamped it there. But I really like that. That looks sweet, to be honest about it. I mean, obviously I'll have to add to the edges and straighten it up a little bit, but my thoughts on this thing, it'll be about like it is, but probably angled back maybe a little more. So that way those windshield wiper things are pointing directly forward, and maybe I can put some kind of fog light looking things in there. That'll be sweet. We'll see what we can come up with here. Well, I don't suppose I made an update on anything that's been going on here. The heat does work. I got it just stuffed through there right now because there's no vents up here, but we got all 4 speeds like we're supposed to. So it's nice and warm in here. Here's this. That's done. But it thinks my passenger door is open again. So that switch is having intermittent issues. So I guess what I'm gonna do is tear this door back apart. I was all excited. I put it all back together, handles and stuff. And then of course now it thinks that door's open. These lights will not go out, and neither will the puddle lights, the ones that are right there on an actual fourth shift. That's what I'm gonna mess with. And then once I get this side swapped over, that'll verify whether that switch is bad or the wiring's bad, which I think that switch just has an intermittent problem. Only like 30 to 50 bucks online, so that's not that bad. And then then I can do this side since I tore it all apart and then haven't even messed with it yet. So I'll weld all that together and bolt it back up. Here's something interesting. So I went to take this apart to put my sketch on there, and I realized this was cracked. So it's a good thing that I'm converting this to bear claw. I don't know how on earth that would have happened. Got all my stuff cut out for the driver's side. This one is also coming apart. It's traced out. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna cut it out. One more down. Making some progress here. Electric locks. Pretty cool, pretty cool. This one also, the lock mechanism on the inside's a little bit different. I'm guessing for child locks or whatever. So we're nice and pretty here. And then this one, can't even see, but yeah, hold on, I got a light, I think. So that opens the door just like that. I welded a bracket on with a little 8L clamp back here to support this wire. Yeah, there's no other wires going to anything in this door other than the speaker down there. Anyway, yeah, we're good to put the panel back on. We're finally down to just one more door to do. I think I have that metal cut out back there. I did all this last week, so it's been a whole week at work, and then now I'm back. Now I have this one, just kind of traced off the front one there, and so now it's finally time to get this one done. I'm gonna get this done in the meantime. I think I literally started this time last year. Cut out some rust down here. This was December of last year, and it is currently December 16th of 2024. I'll finally get that done because that's kind of making the door where it doesn't want to close very good. It does hit. And then I need to get door skins or patch this area. Also up there, same on this door, front and back. So maybe just get lowers, I don't know. But then I've got this thing, finally I found one of these, so it won't be missing that anymore. And then I took this one, and put it on the front. So, because the one on the front was missing, because I had this door apart for a long time. That's finally done, and now I got to come up with a door handle for this one. Dang, buddy, we're on a roll now. All four. Now we got electric locks in all four doors, bear claw latches on all four doors. Thing's done down here. It's definitely solid now. 100%. I had to beat the shiz out of that with a hammer to get that lined up as nice as it is. It's not absolutely perfect, but I am certainly not unhappy with it. And then I beat the side of the door to get the door gap pretty good all the way up. And then I added quite a bit in through there to get that. The cab was it was pretty far from the door because this is the side of this cab that was in the wreck. It got all mashed up. I added 3/8 to a 1/2 inch up in there. Now we close real nice and easy. The only other thing I can think of to add in this video would be kind of along the lines of what I'm doing here, putting heat in this, putting modern electric locks in this thing, would be fixing the windshield wipers finally. Here's what I ended up doing. The only mounts that I did have were on this flange up here under the hood. So you can't get to these screws in through there. So what I did was I bent a piece of 1/8 inch and tapped, well, actually what I did is I drilled a big hole, welded a 5/16 by 18 nut into the hole, ground it down, hit it with a tap just to be sure, and then I stuck this in there. Now that's holding that end of it down. All right, so if I'm really good here, this is gonna work out real nicely. So I've measured this distance, and if it's as simple as I'm hoping as it is, all I gotta do is transfer that distance to this one. And so originally I was gonna cut this and weld it to this one. But I think what I'm gonna do is just drill a hole, punch out this, then drive it into that one, and then cut this ball bearing off there, or this ball joint. So we're gonna see what happens here. Last night I broke my tripod and that just about aggravated me, so I stopped videoing. Here's where we got to. I put this thing back in. Basically what I did is I took the factory piece of sheet metal thing off the inside of the firewall, and there's some pretty big holes where I had to drill out those spot welds. Took that off, cut out a section of it, stuck the electric motor to it, drilled new holes in it to fit that electric motor, and then I made a plate for this side. You can kind of see here. Let me get up here. Oh my goodness. I made a plate for this side, and you can see the 2 holes that don't have screws in them, and then the 1 hole that does have that Allen head screw or spline screw. This doesn't work as well as I hoped. I think what I'm gonna do is take all this back apart and make another circular piece here. Mark where all 6 of these holes are, and then I'm gonna weld it to the firewall. Then I'll bolt the motor to that. Check this out. So that's the first notch. Obviously all these notches are the same up until low, but it always returns right back to where it's supposed to be. So there's low, and then there's high. So I'm pretty happy with this. And it centers right back up where it's supposed to. So I still gotta weld some more down here. That thing's kind of halfway holding that to the firewall. I'm missing one of my bolts that holds that thing in. There's only 2 of them there. I need 3. And then all those open holes, I just made a new piece of metal, and I'm gonna weld, you know, that sheet metal in through those gaping holes there on the front. So that's pretty much all that's lacking, and then getting the new ones of those and putting those together. Okay, there's these, they're brand new. We'll get those put on. And another really good news, first thing this morning, one of the first things this morning, that one's not so new anymore. I ground off all the welds on this and sanded it. Check these bad boys out. Got this done late last night, so I just waited till today to get this video done. So anyway, the cowl is on. It's obviously painted now. Looks pretty good, other than where I scratched it trying to slide it under the hood. So yeah, note to self on install, whenever I get this actually painted, probably take the hood off. But anyway, yeah, so this one is all brand new, and then the arm over there is one of the original ones because I had 2 right side ones, 2 driver's side ones, and I just cleaned all the overspray off of this one, and it's pretty good. It's not brand new, but it's certainly not bad. So those are done. They work really good. So yeah, we got heat now. Of course, we don't have the 2 vents right there yet. So I'm gonna put 2 vents there, I think, or maybe in this slot and that one. I haven't fully decided yet. and then round vents over here. All that will get done in time. A lot to do. Got a lot done, I feel like, in this video, so we're just gonna keep on down this road. Got electric locks now. Huh, these ain't doing anything. Wonder what's up there. Probably because my door's open. Let me try to hop in here and see if that does anything. Yeah, there they go. All right, so I think I'm gonna put one of those chrome strips right up through there to clean up that gap. Like this kind of chrome. Anyway, make sure these are unlocked. They are. All these door latches are done. The main goal of that was these lights, but electric locks certainly useful too. You know, now I just got to press one button instead of leaning over and pushing all the door handles down. But we got this metal work done here. That turned out really good. I'm super happy with that. And this one's really nice and solid. So now that I've done one of those, it probably won't be so bad to do the next one. I think this door would be next. Got a little bit of rust I got to do right there. That door opens and closes really good. So yeah, there's the heater box with the fan motor. 4 speeds. All the wiring's finally done right there, and I put that plug through the firewall in the proper place. I broke this off, so that's kind of inconvenient. That's the second time that's been broke off too. I already super glued it once, and then leaning over trying to get to that back there, I broke it again. So I have to fix that. And then speaking of wiper cowl, I got that one on the bottom of the truck right here, kind of like a valance. I like that a lot. That looks good. And then so for next week's video, what we're going to work on, I got a couple different things I want to get done here. I got some rock lights that I started to install this week. So I got 4 of those total. I'm gonna need 8 to do the whole truck, but I'm gonna move that one more like up in here, shining more towards the frame. And then another one up in here somewhere. And then ball joints, wheel bearings, and I might even give the orange truck some love. She needs a couple new parts. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That helps me out a whole lot. You know, the entire point of making a YouTube channel was to help buy all these expensive truck parts. And I think so far I've made $4.37 off of YouTube. So let's up those numbers a little bit. Because, I mean, I'm going to be building cool trucks regardless if I put them on the internet or not. But might as well show the world and make a few dollars at least. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.